Now then, Vinyl Monkey here after, I don't know what's it been, 3 or 4 weeks. Apologies for not getting any videos out, but yeah, I'm afraid the monkey has got himself caught up in some sort of health situation here where I'm sitting on a roundabout of appointments, scans, this, that, the other, and if it's not me, it's me partner's mother in and out of hospital and doctors and all the rest of it. So it's been, yeah, it's got in the way, and yeah, it's as well as time consuming, a bit stressful if I'm honest, and it's been a bit disconcerting that music has not been able to provide the solace that I hoped it might do. It's got too stressful to listen to music properly, so but anyway, we're getting towards the hopefully some sort of clearer information about things, so I thought I better just tune back in and do another video. But I haven't been listening to any LPs, and I thought, what can I do, what can I ramble on about? And I thought, I know, CDs. I know this is a vinyl channel, but one of the things, my collection, it really, you know, I was a late subscriber to CDs, so I had vinyl right up until the early 90s, but I didn't buy a lot of music in the 80s. I sort of had a post-punk musical depression that resulted in me just buying sort of the old farts, the Neil Young, the Bob Dylan, the Tom Waits, the Van Morrisons, etc. So for quite a long time, so I missed out a lot of stuff from the 80s. But once I got into CDs, once I committed to that, and obviously you couldn't get vinyl anyway through the 90s and early 2000s. So anyway, the long and short of it is I've got twice as many CDs probably as I've got vinyls, and I thought some of the bands that I really listen to on CD, I'll never get to show on vinyl because I don't intend generally to buy them twice unless there's some sort of real good reason for it. So I thought I'd share some of my favourite artists that I've only got on CD that I'm never likely to talk about in my vinyl channel, and I'm going to do it dead briefly, and I just picked them off the shelf, some of my favourites. The first one is the Avalanches. This is an Australian pair who I think what they do was once termed as plunder phonics, so they plunder the sort of bargain record bins. They find old bits of music and they sample them basically and stick them together to create new music, and this is their first album, Since I Left You, and then their second album, which is Wildflower. Brilliant albums, both of them. Frontier Psychiatrist off this one, an absolute cracker. So that's the Avalanches. The next one, the Blue Nile. This is their last 2 albums, Peace at Last and High. They only ever had 4 albums. They generally made 1 album every 6 years, so 4 albums in 25 years. Meditative, sort of electronic, soulful, sort of melancholic singing, really nicely done. From Glasgow, Paul Buchanan, the singer, songwriter, great stuff, all classics, all 4 albums, the first 2, Hats and Walk Across Rooftops, brilliant as well. Blue Nile. Third one, Bon Iver. I don't know why I've put that in. I have got a Bon Iver on vinyl, so he might get talked about. I won't talk about that one. The next one, Billy Bragg. Billy Bragg, yeah, I have a Billy Bragg story which I probably haven't got time to share with you, but I did actually play with Billy Bragg when he was doing the busking tour. I accidentally came across him. Somebody lent me their guitar, and I joined about 30 other sort of buskers or people who were just passing like me, who strummed along. Billy and his band, the Blokes, spent an afternoon teaching us half a dozen songs, and then we went up onto the veranda of the South Bank Centre on the South Bank in London, and played in front of a few thousand people. It was absolutely fantastic. Great guy, and I just love how he struggles with some of these particularly the concepts around the problematic notion of Englishness. Brilliant songwriter, great guy, Billy Bragg. That's another Billy Bragg, William Boak. The next one was Jeff Buckley, and I can't find the cover for Jeff's only real album, Grace. That is the CD, and I've lost the bloody box for it. But this is live at Cine, a club in New York that he played a long stint in. Jeff Buckley, son of Tim Buckley, only met his father once, I think, in his life. Absolutely stunning voice, and from the evidence of his one album and the offcuts from his the work he had in preparation, a potentially great songwriter as well. Grace is an absolutely fantastic album. Sadly died in a tragic accident, so we'll never know how he might have developed, but brilliant stuff. Jeff Buckley. Neil Casal, I seen Neil Casal. Neil Casal's a New Yorker, Americana sort of singer-songwriter, brilliant singer-songwriter. I've got about 8 or 9 of his albums. He was third on the bill in an Americana gig in the Borderline in London, and but for me he stole the show with the quality of songs then. Remarkably, he once turned up playing in the back room of a little pub in Hartlepool on one of his tours. But brilliant singer-songwriter, Neil Casal. Again, dead now, tragically, suicide, I think, not that long ago actually, but yeah, Neil Casal. Next one, what an artist this guy is. This is Vic Chestnut, this is The Salesman and Bernadette, and this is Skitter on Takeoff. I've got all of Chestnut's albums, they're all on CD. I probably won't buy them on vinyl. Vic sadly also now passed on. Look him up on YouTube if you're not familiar with Vic Chestnut. Absolutely fantastic artist. He was paralysed aged 18 in a car accident, I think, and his hand and arm are paralysed, and so he's had to develop his own distinctive guitar playing style, but he writes the most beautiful, tender, heartfelt songs. Gorgeous stuff. Vic Chestnut. Nick Drake, I never got into Nick Drake like most people didn't first time round. I never even knew he was there until the CD age dawned, and so I've got his 3 albums on CD. This is his last one, Pink Moon, sort of reflective, acoustic, just him and an acoustic guitar largely. But 3 albums of beautiful songs, and obviously now getting the recognition that he probably deserved first time round, but there we are, Nick Drake. The next one, the Fleet Foxes. This is the first album. Dear me, I think it's just called Fleet Foxes, isn't it? Yeah, that's the trouble with CDs, isn't it? They're so small, the writing's so small. The second one's called Helplessness Blues. Just brilliant sort of indie folk, Americana, sort of country tinge, beautiful stuff, beautiful harmonies, lovely playing, and a different sort of, their own unique sound. I've got albums by their drummer who left after their first few albums, Josh Tillman, who goes now under the name of Father John Misty, just seen recently. But the Fleet Foxes, their early albums, brilliant stuff. Fleet Foxes. The next one, How Gelb, for me the grandfather of Americana, the Texan. This is his album, The Coincidentalist, and this is Confluence. I've got a couple of Giant Sand albums, which is the band he fronted, and I've got a couple of Blackie Ranchette albums, which is a sort of slightly different, rockier country band he fronted. But his solo stuff is perhaps where his best, is some of his best work is, and How Gelb, a one-off, absolute genius. Seen him many times, and will always buy his stuff, whether it's on CD or vinyl. But How Gelb. The next one, PJ Harvey, Polly Jean Harvey. Seen her once at a gig that how Gelb was curating, if you like, as well, and she appeared with John Parrish and did a set which was absolutely superb. PJ Harvey from Dorset in England, yeah, unique singer-songwriter. She writes very, very different stuff. All her albums are really different. This is Let England Shake from, ooh, when was it? It must be 10 years ago at least, maybe more. Polly Jean Harvey, PJ Harvey. I'm going to move on. This is Lambchop. Kurt Wagner, just so laid back, it's untrue. Beautiful. I did see these in London once as well, and yeah, just a great band, some lovely albums. This is Damaged, their early album Nixon, really nice, lovely stuff. Lambchop. Next one is a band I know naught about, Lullaby for the Working Class. I used to play this album at least weekly, several times weekly for several years. It was just one of those albums that was never ever off the CD player. It's the only band I've heard that sort of sound like Neutral Milk Hotel. And I guess they haven't got much other stuff out. I haven't looked them up even on Wikipedia or anything, so I know a note about them. But Lullaby for the Working Class. The album title I've got in my hand is I Never Asked for Light. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, you'll have to look them up. Michael Mara, oh, the Bard of Dundee. What a bloody artist. Seen him many times. Absolutely love his stuff. Just a brilliant poetic songwriter. I've seen him in folk clubs by and large, but I wouldn't pin him with that category. He plays his keyboards on top of an old ironing board, and he's just a great songwriter and storyteller, and a great man. Sadly, again, now not with us. Michael Mara, brilliant. Morrissey. I have some Smith stuff on CD, but on vinyl, sorry, but I have no Morrissey stuff on vinyl, and I haven't been buying his latest stuff. I'm sort of, to some extent, yeah, I suppose, probably put off by his ever extreme sort of positions and rantings he's taken on things, and but that doesn't put me off his previous stuff and his early stuff. This is Viva Hate. He's just a great songwriter and performer. And whatever crap he might come out with, or stuff you might disagree or agree with that he comes out with, I don't know, that doesn't take any of that artistic merit away from him, in my view. Vauxhall and I, that's another Morrissey. Yeah, who have I got here? My Morning Jacket. What a band these. I've seen these in Glasgow. Absolutely fantastic. This is oh bloody hell, a still, what's it called again? I should remember these things. Anyway, there's the albums. My Morning Jacket, yeah, they're all hair and beards and just fantastic rock band. Absolutely brilliant, different, superb American rock band. Jim O'Rourke, this is Insignificance. I've got Jim O'Rourke produced things and published things and his projects he's been involved with, but as a solo artist only have him on CD. Chicago, alternative, yeah, very different, got his own style. Brilliant stuff, Jim O'Rourke. The Pernice Brothers. Yeah, Joe Pernice, or is it Pernice? Is that how I pronounce it? This is The World Won't End. Just lovely harmonies, a little bit like the Jayhawks, I suppose, that type of band. Beautiful. Silver Jews I've talked about before. The poet David Berman really is sort of abstract images he conjures up in his writing, absolutely superb. This is American Water, Silver Jews. Son Volt were the when Uncle Tupelo split up. They went two ways. One way Wilco, which I've got all their stuff. Love Wilco, seen them many times. The other way was Son Volt. Jay Farrar. Yeah, equally good stuff. Not seen them. Got a few of their albums, but only on CD. The next one, what a band these are. If anyone hasn't heard these, or Sparklehorse, this is a project that belongs to Mark Linkous, really, and he collected different musicians around him for his different albums. This is the, I think this is their first album. This is Viva Dixie Submarine Transmission Plot. All one word, yeah. Achingly beautiful songs, yeah. Don't know what more to say about them, really. Mark Linkous, yeah, very poetic. Conjures up sort of sometimes dark images, but again another one. There's a bit of a thread through here around suicide, which I guess you know, the artistic community maybe it's an issue more than other professions, but beautiful stuff. Sparklehorse, the project of Mark Linkous. Sufjan Stevens did some interesting stuff, and this is Michigan. He started doing a project where he was going to do an album named after every state in America and trying to sort of pick up on some of those things, and I thought that sounds an ambitious project. I think he gave it up fairly quickly. He did Illinois and Michigan. I'm not sure he got much further than that, but wistful, sort of nice. I don't play it so much these days, but at one time I was getting into all of his stuff, yeah. Sufjan Stevens. And lastly, what a lovely band these are, Yola Tengo. I might get these on vinyl actually if I ever spot them anywhere, or any new stuff they might do. These are from New York. I think they're a 3-piece, but it's sort of fuzzy, scuzzy, you know, almost Sonic Youth type sort of scuzzy guitars and sounds and synthesizers, and but beautiful melodies and harmonies in there as well. Yola Tengo, and this is the brilliant album I Can Hear the Heart Beating. I Can Hear the Heart Beating as one. Anyway, there was an A to Y quick run through some of the bands I have on CD but haven't got on vinyl. So okay, I hope to get back to normal. You can see the Van Morrison albums behind me. I've got a little project on, hopefully trying to identify my favourite Van songs from each decade. So hopefully get back on track with a weekly video soon. Anyway, bye for now. Cheers. Ta-ra.